Hi? I guess? Okay. Okay, I guess, can you hear me? And how many of me can you hear? Hi? I guess? You think it's stopped. You can hear me. It's still happening. Okay, because there is a delay. Okay, so here's the thing. There is exactly one thing
I guess, can you hear
that
me?
I changed.
And
Well, okay, but here's the thing. Okay, there's one thing I changed. I'm sorry if this is an audio nightmare. There's one thing I changed, and it was that I added sound alerts. If you go to the My Panels area, there are sound alert stuff.
Okay,
So
here's the thing.
I'm wondering if the sound alerts hasn't fucked my sound up?
That I changed.
But like how and why?
Okay, there's one thing I changed. I'm sorry if this is an audio nightmare. There's one thing I changed, and it was that I added sound alerts. If you go to the My Panels area, there are sound alert stuff. So, I'm wondering if the sound alerts hasn't fucked my sound up.
I just want to know,
Like,
somebody tell me
why?
Why don't you make it sing repeats itself? Can you hear the double of me and not the alert? Okay, that was actually really useful information. Thank you, Ryan. Because that means it's not the stream. There's something on my settings end. Well, okay.
I just want to know, somebody tell me why don't you make it sing repeats itself? Can you hear the double of me and not the alert? Okay, that was actually really useful information. Thank you, Ryan. Because that means it's not the stream. There's something on my settings end. Well, okay. You can't hear. You just hear the delay. The captions should still be working. What the fuck is happening?
What is happening? I don't know. I don't know what could possibly be happening. I turned the mic on. That was on purpose. I did turn the mic on. I hit it. I turned it off because I was trying to figure out what it was. No, it's not fine now. We're just in a delay moment where there wasn't any audio, so there isn't any double. But once the audio catches up to what I'm saying now, it's going to be doubled again. No, I don't believe it. I think you guys are wrong. We're going to give it a second, and then you're going to hear the doubles again. You don't think so? Well, then what in the hot fuck is going on? Because all I did was hide and then reintroduce my mic. I'm not convinced it's gone. I'm drinking a beautiful Ruby Redbird from Shiner, one of my favorite beer breweries. It's off sync with my video. Gibson Rickerbacker, thank you for the gift subs. I don't trust it though. It's a good beer, and the label's really good. Isn't it beautiful? I'm in sync for you. If I'm not in sync for you, restart it. Yeah. Well, what is happening? I didn't do anything out of the ordinary to my OBS. So, I mean, I guess I killed the loop, but how do I do it? Undead, I don't drink a lot of coffee ales, but I do like them every once in a while. They're so nice to have when you're drinking in the morning. I don't drink in the morning. I'm Midwest, but I'm not that Midwest. But if you have Rux, I will definitely take them. It is Groundhog Day! Oh, I wish this were a bit. Holy fuck, I wish this were a bit. Good God almighty, I wish it were a bit. That would have been such a good bit. Anyway, I added sound alerts. Let's play this fucking game. Whatever. What was I doing? Where are we? This is the premise of Looper. Ryan, are you are you testing to see if the sound alerts are gonna bring it back? Oh, are the sound alerts too quiet? I wonder what I can do to increase the volume. I'll have to see if I can raise the volume of it. Here's the weird thing is I also get the sound alerts in my ear, which I don't feel like I should. Are you guys getting the sound alerts? Just wanted to make it sing. Sandoz Kato Coffee Kolsch. Oh, that's a tongue twister, what you've just said. Sandoz Sonder Kato. I feel like I heard it through your headphones. Well, how is that gonna be what it does? What is happening? Why is every part of this stream so fucking cursed? We can barely hear them, but streamers usually want to hear them too. This is definitely not the most cursed stream we've had. Because I definitely remember that cursed stream where I was able to do the weird head thing because the video sync was so whack. I'm not gonna mess with the audio. I'm not gonna mess the audio. I also put the bones emote up, if you'll notice. What's happening? What's happening? I smeared my glasses. What is this? Oh my god. What are we even doing here? Happy February, everyone. Okay. Fucking so cursed. I see you try to sneak a holes in there. Oh, is Beyonce touring this summer? God, that's exciting. I don't often go to concerts, but Susie Sue is also touring, and she's been retired for kind of like a while now. I was really excited that Susie Sue is touring. I just don't like going to concerts. Maybe. We'll see. I have to imagine Beyonce tickets are very expensive. And I have to imagine her show is fucking incredible. Yeah, Susie Sue's legit touring. She's mostly touring in Europe, but she's gonna be in California for some sort of show that's geared towards people my age. As like Echo and the Bunnymen. So yeah, of Hannibal finale fame? Damn. More of like Batman Returns fame. Come on, fake Susie Sue fan. Ugh. I mean, especially with how weird concert tickets are now, it just feels like impossible. The lineup for the show that Susie Sue is going to be in, hold on, let me just pull it up. Because it is just like, I saw it and I was like, oh, uh-oh, do I care about concerts? And the answer is no. I don't care about it enough, at least. But the festival, it's the Cruel World Festival. It's so much targeted at, like second generation, well, I guess either first generation goths or those of us who lived in the offspring of it. God, here's the lineup. Susie Sue, incredible. Iggy Pop, the man himself. Billy Idol, Echo and the Bunnymen, Love and Rockets, Adam Ant, Human League. Genuinely a fucking wild lineup. I did look at tickets, but I'm like, Bison. It's good to see you briefly. Yeah. Isn't that a fucking incredible lineup? I just hate concerts is the problem. But I'm like, but I probably won't go. But I'm so intrigued. Yeah. Eganalder Popsmith himself. The man, the myth, the legend. It looks like it's headed by Susie Sue and Iggy Pop, which, like, what a fucking, if they sang together, I'd lose my fucking mind. The lineup is genuinely wild. I might. I probably won't. I just don't like concerts. I don't understand concerts. You just kind of like stand around and like listen to music. It's just so antithetical to how I listen to music. I just listen to music so much as a backdrop. And even then, just not very often. Yeah, concerts are loud and they're expensive and there's people and all the only things you have to do are to get wasted and listen to music. And then you have all these weird, rowdy people. But on the other hand, I bet the people watching at a Susie Sue revival concert would be the fucking unrealist. I mean, if you can choose one concert to go to, Beyonce is an incredible one to choose, honestly. I think that's probably the actual correct answer, 100%. All right, so the things we're doing in this game. It's time to do some statistics. Gotta help Rico. Gotta work to open this thread up. We're just waiting for a lot of horrible consequences right now. And so I guess it's time to do mushrooms and hustle. You should feel validated by Beyonce. That's how I feel. I just like Susie Sue. Here's the thing: is like, I will for the rest of my life regret not seeing David Bowie in concert while we were both still alive. Like, I will just always regret not doing that, because I love David Bowie. He's had a huge impact on my life and my music tastes, and we were alive at the same time and I never saw him. And I just feel like Susie Sue is gonna be the same situation. Like, when I sit down and think about it, of artists that I would be devastated if they die before I saw him, it was David Bowie, he's dead. Alice Cooper, I almost called him Allison. Alice Cooper, who I have seen in concert. And it was a fucking spectacular concert. And Susie Sue might be the third one. I'd have to put together so many goth outfits. I mean, that's not terrible. Actually, that sounds very fun. Let's do some tithing. Let's hustle. Just do it. Yours was Elton John and you saw him last year? Elton John is a fucking good one. That is a good one. A bubblegum goth? Aw, that's sweet. I was definitely... What kind of goth was I? I don't know if goth... I don't think there was quite as many subdivisions in goth when I was in high school, which is when I flirted with my goth phase. It would be fun, though. You really support seeing Susie live? It would be great. But I mean, the other question is, like, do I go see her in California at a big concert, or do I go see her in Europe in like a smaller, more intimate context? I think that would be cool. Old person music tastes. Oh yeah, Bruce Springsteen is another one I have to imagine. Fucking incredible. Well, here's the question: is that I don't make the same amount of money I used to. If I were still gainfully employed as a big time YouTuber, it would not even be a question. I would just do it. But I'm a small time YouTuber now, and so the accessibility of such a dream is a little bit out of less within reach. All right. Okay, so she needs mushrooms. I need to get her mushrooms. If I see her in Europe, you have more opportunities for trains. That's true. Probably not going to take the train out to California. Where's my... Can I not grow things here anymore? That makes me so sad. Go fund me a dream. Go fund me a Susie Sue dream. I mean, when I left grad school, I it was very sudden. My funding got pulled, and I just had to leave. Like, that was just it. It was over the summer. My funding got cut by Steve Walker, who cut something like $300 million from the budget. And so I no longer had like a job at grad school. And so I was like, well, I'm not going to do grad school anymore. So I took what little savings I had and I bought a car and I drove from Madison to Seattle because I ended up getting a job in Seattle. And on that road trip, which I took like a pretty luxurious trip, I took like 7 to 10 days. I can't remember. It was an incredible trip. It was definitely a life-changing kind of road trip. It was fucking spectacular. And I look back on that as just being a really important moment in my life for me to realign my concepts and my ideas of what I wanted from life. And I had a handful of CDs that I had retained, and a whole bunch of them were Susie Sue CDs, and that's just like most of what I listened to on that trip. Man, should I go see Susie Sue in concert? I don't know. I'll think about it. It's such a, it would be really incredible. And she did retire, and then she came back. I'll have to think about it. I think here's the thing is I don't think it's Susie Sue and the Banshees. And I think most of the CDs I had were of the Banshee era. And so I think she's back as a solo artist because her last album was a solo album, Manta Ray. Oh, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, Maximum Cowboy. That was a rough one. I think Mechtel, yeah, I think it's, I will have Bowie regrets. Bowie, Mechtel, I think you've just coined a term. I think you've just coined a phrase. Bowie regrets. I got Susie dreams and Bowie regrets. I'll have to think about it. All right. How do I play games? I'm just like trying to read it. It's all blurring my eyes. Woo! For poetry, that rules. Money, who knows if I'll have it. I mean, I don't know if does your department do like assistantships and stuff? There are definitely, here's my recommendation. If you don't get an assistantship through your department, I would say look around because there are like, at least my era, I did the assistantship with my department for like 2 years and I hated it. I hated teaching. I hated being an instructor. Under better circumstances, I might have liked it, but I didn't under those circumstances. And so I looked around and I just found another research assistantship for a tech group. So like at University of Wisconsin-Madison, at least, like there are other opportunities for like part-time grad assistant work, even if your department doesn't have it. I would say look around. Good luck. I hope you get in. Madison is a beautiful city. It's incredible. The farmer's market is the best in the country. It's the best I've ever been to. I ate there. I got all my veg there when I was at school there. It's a lovely area. It's fucking icy as hell, so make sure you have good boots, snow boots, and a good snow jacket. All right. Chad, I miss y'all too. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about a nice road trip over the summer. And if I take a road trip over the summer, I'll definitely be hitting up Madison. Your assistantship is certainly a research position, and boy, do I wish it was teaching instead. Really? HTMLE? I'm so interested. Why do you just like not like your research position, or do you really like teaching? Mostly Team Chicago. Chicago's also great. Chicago's a great city. Chicago. All right, so I need mushrooms for you. I ain't got those mushrooms, and I can't seem to be able to grow. Oh no, I just need to harvest. I'm a dummy. Here we go. I'm playing games. I know how to play them. picked up Harvestella from the library. And it's really infuriating. I just don't have the aptitude. I think fucking more girl. I don't have the aptitude for JRPGs. I think I'm over the hump in the game. But right now I'm just like, so much tutorials. Oh no! Gamer girl boss baby Bjorn, that's rough. That's rough. Yeah, I never really considered. I guess if I had stuck with getting my PhD, I can see how that would have been really helpful experience to have under my belt. That's a shame. I hope you have resources in your department to help you out. I mean, yeah, Madison's beautiful. Like, genuinely, the lake life is so gorgeous. And being on the UW-Madison campus is just really beautiful. Nice food truck scene. Rico meets you at the entrance to the lab, leaning on her crutch with a glint in her eye. Walk with me, sleeper. I'd like to tell you a story. She makes her way down the corridor that leads back up towards the main commune building. When people first crossed what we call Founder's Gap into the Greenway, they did so against the wishes of Andre Erlin. Ooh. At the time, Erlin was trying to stabilize the Union and establish control over the Eye in the wake of Solheim's collapse. It was chaos, competing factions, failing systems, so many dead and injured from the riots. This was his priority. You both crossed through the glass-roofed tunnel, the greenway outside crowded with vines and branches dappling the light. Erling had ridden the greenway off, cut off from the rest of the station and linked to a broken spoke. He claimed it was only a matter of time before everything here would die. He refused to let anyone abandon their duty to the Union and cross. They were traitors to the cause, or as good as. Well, good. Gamer girl, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear you have support. Zero training and nobody cares if you do a good job. Ugh. Yeah, I guess, like, the upside of Madison is that, like, the grad department I was in, because we were in media studies, which includes rhetoric, we were comm arts, and that included media studies, which was my field, and comm arts and comm sci. And the rhetoric division taught all of the intro to speech classes, and that was a requirement for students. So basically all of the grad students had to do at least 1 year of teaching intro to speech to freshmen. And that was fine for me, except that they just didn't give us enough time. Like, there was no way to be a good professor and a good student of my own research. And that really frustrated me. And it didn't have to be that way. They purposely designed it that way. For reasons that I'm certain make sense to them, but which are stupid. Like, at the end of the day, I think they were making poor choices. Like, they were purposely overloading us with reading, knowing that we wouldn't have the time to do it and to be a good professor or a good instructor to our students. And so we were just supposed to, like, skim all our reading and not really get in depth with it. Like, that was explicitly their purpose. And I'm like, fuck this. I came here to study, to research. This is the time in which I am supposed to be able to indulge in reading and learning and research. And you want me to fucking skim this? It's infuriating. Infuriating! I'm still mad about it. Rico continues, making her slow but steady way into the inner gardens of the commune. There weren't many of us, but we believed what was here was worth saving. We had to keep our plans secret until we crossed, and some of us left people behind. She paused to catch her breath, her voice cracking. It is difficult to know if it's from effort or emotion. What we found was a disaster, nothing like what you see here. Half of the greenway was leaking oxygen into space, the plants flash frozen. The other half was a swamp of mulch as decaying matter clogged every system. We worked hard, we lost good people, we cleaned up and closed up. but it was never going to be enough. After many, many cycles, we all knew this place was doomed, but we kept on working, talking less and less, because we couldn't face it. We all developed a death wish. If the Greenway was going to die, so could we. So would we. Ha 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 ha! Flaming Green Vial, good. It's a fucking good-ass episode. A lot happening. But that ending, am I right? That fucking ending. Justin really fucking got us. I can't believe it. It did not, Rico smiles. We crossed some invisible boundary, tipped some biological scale, and the Greenway started to recover. Plants flowered, crops sprouted, and for the first time we reaped the fruits of our labor. Rico smiles, looking up at you. We thought it was us, that we managed to do just enough to end the cycle of decay. I thought we had saved the Greenway. Until today. I'm certain she did not mean to rhyme. You pass into the grow beds of the commune, rich with the hustle and bustle of Hyphia members planting and harvesting. For a while, Rico's quiet, and you both simply observe the hypnotic movements of the work crews, the eager chatter washing over you like a wave. Rico smiles to herself. I should have known, of course, that our arrogance was unfounded, but we needed to believe back then. We needed a myth to bring more people across the gap. You both move into a smaller corridor, Rico following some direction unknown to you. What you have here have shown me is that back then the Greenway saved us, not the other way around. Tell me, have you ever consumed one of the Mitsutake or Gurul caps you've been growing? Oh yeah, like a ton. I imagine they were delicious, nutritious, almost uniquely so, she mused. After all, they were designed for you. Rico has a mischievous look. At first I thought it was the location they were grown in that made the mushrooms from the aviary, from the labs, or from the groves different to each other. But what I've come to understand is the person growing them. What? The Mitsutake and Gurul caps you brought me were totally unique, containing compounds never usually found in similar specimens in my possession. Many of these compounds weren't even digestible for humans. What? But for a sleeper like you... Rico smiles as she leads you into an internal garden of the commune, where the Hyphia members have planted species from all over the Greenway. Back when the tide turned, when the Greenway started to recover, we all felt something, a response. It was as if this place was not just alive, as a forest is alive, but alive in other ways, communicative, responsive. We shrugged it off at the time, but now I understand why. Rico stops and turns to you. This place is responding to us, adapting itself to us. It is growing fruiting bodies for you, for me. It's adapting, changing. It is, in short, displaying the signs of sentience. Is this what Neovind was talking about? Yeah, we have sold a lot of the mushrooms, for sure, gold stars. It's fine, though. It's fine. It's fine. There's still it's fine. The Neovind mentioned something about the sentient AI in this area potentially having gone rogue or evolved in unique ways because it was so cut off. The Greenway is sentient? Perhaps not the Greenway, but the ecosystem itself, or something within it. Rico sits on a bench within the peaceful gardens and gestures for you to join her. When you have grown the Guruls and the Mitsutake and the aviary, those species so familiar to the Greenway, have you discovered any others? Yeah. Rico can barely contain her excitement. I should like to see those. Please bring me some next time you're here. You look around the garden, amazed at the sense of peace within it. Rico interrupts the silence. There is a species of mushrooms that I haven't seen in years. It is clubheads. It's dark, short, shaped like a club. We first found it those early days when we were working to save this place. It was around the time we started to lose our first members. They were succumbing to some infection, some mold growing deep in the dark mulch that drowned this place. At that point, we thought we were lost. And then these mushrooms emerged from that same black mold. We tested them and saw that they contained some compounds that counteracted the mold. They contained an antidote. What the fuck? Of course, as a botanist, I saw this as part of the natural process of this ecosystem, even if the timescale seemed absurdly short. But what I'm wondering if the antidote was a gift. Rico meets your eye. Perhaps if you're patient, you'll receive your gift too, sleeper. No face vibes. Yeah, undead. That's such a good read on this, yes. You both sit for a while, Rico seemingly done telling stories for for today. You watch the light playing off the leaves and plants around you and wonder what forces could be at play in this place. After a while, you stand and leave with a quiet nod to Rico, leaving her to her memories. Mechtel, I'm fucking wondering the same exact thing. That is exactly what I'm wondering. Oh, do I need 3 of these? I only have 2. I've only have 2, and I've been mushroom plucking for so long. And it's gonna take forever to get more. Fuck. Damn. You want a garden friend that grows me love plants? It's so nice when you say it like that. Hey, I got the spores I needed. The Greenway loves me. Ship says universal healthcare. Alright, that's got tick up. I just want to check real quick what the... Oh! Peak's ready to talk. Even before you reach the cordon, the damage is obvious. The blinking red lights, the drones, the tugs, all are gone. Half the cordon's frame has also been shorn away, perhaps through the impact of some falling ship. Oh, I think this is from... If you guys remember when at the very end of Tuesday's stream, there was a fucking big blackout, right? Gold stars, that seems like a good sign to me. There was a huge blackout, and it like knocked out my brain systems. I'm wondering if this isn't because of that. People push past you in the corridor, both Haven Age staff and contractors clearing the corridor. The cordon. Yeah, it was a wave. I think it was a big blackout. Like, I think an actual wave hit the ship. Try to speak to them. You're met with suspicious look and scattered warnings, but little else. From the equipment being carried out, you suspect this is no relief effort. Haven Age are pulling out of this section of the station. The further you pass into the cordon, the less people you see. You can see a few sections have been closed off, their bulkhead doors sealed, and the red warning lights punctuating the corridor, but otherwise most areas seem functional. Suddenly you feel a hand fall on your shoulder. Haven Age security. You should have known better than to wander around into this place. You brace yourself as you turn. Sleeper! Peek embraces you as you turn. What are you doing here? Did you see the cordon go down? Did Eshe speak with you? Bum. You've thought about buying this game before. This isn't quite what you expected the gameplay to be. I hope that means you still like it, though. I mean, I think it's a really good game, and I would highly recommend it. Yeah, I could see how it would not be what you would expect. Peek glances around, and you can see they are panicked. Haven Age are leaving. I know. Peek runs a hand through their hair. I passed plenty of their members on the way down here. I thought if Eshe came around, it would be here. I thought if Eshe came anywhere, it would be here. They glanced around anxiously. I was away from the ship, and when I got back, she'd taken it and gone. Then I saw the damage to the cordon. Wow, so Eshe escaped. Like, she escaped. And took Peek's ship. Peek looks at you with wild eyes. What if this is some Haven Age attempt to clear the flotilla, to scuttle the refugee ships? I don't jump to conclusions. Peek pauses. What do you know, Sleeper? There was a wave. Peek frowns. A wave? What do you mean? They pause to think. A signal that only affects electrical systems, perhaps? An EMP would have taken out most of the station, but... Peek runs a hand through their hair. Again? I don't know what you're saying, Sleeper. That doesn't sound... They look away down the corridor for a moment. Look, I have to find Eshe. I'm sure you felt something, but we can talk about that later. They set off down the corridor. I can't sit around talking any longer. Find me on the flotilla. I'm going to find a way to Eshe, no matter what. With that, they rush away into the depths of the cordon, leaving you behind. Seems like you'll need to follow if you want to get any answers. I have to give him scrap to get passage? But I eat this scrap. Oh boy, alright. Negative 35 wind chill. Goodness. Stay safe, stay warm. Is there anything to do over here? I could cook some girl, but I think I'm good for now. Hobbs, I think she busted out. I think she got out. Like, I think she successfully bailed. I also don't think I fed the kitty when I left this morning, so I'm gonna do that now. Oh. Yeah, good for Eshi. I support that. Ha! Gold star. If that's not relatable, I don't know what is. Nya. Are there any scrap shits up? No. One more clock tick down to the sidereal draw. That's exciting. That's just normal stuff. Oh, should I sell my I'm gonna sell my ship mine fragments. I think we're in the mushroom endgame right now, so I don't think we're gonna need... I mean, we might, but we'll see. How did I unlock the kitty feeding? Oh, so there's a tick down that you can do in this area for like a derelict apartment. And if you complete that, then you can move into there. And the kitty's just there. The cat's just there. And you can feed it if you want. Speaking of feeding. Nom, 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 nom. Okay. I guess it's just mushroom hunting more. Oh, actually, no. I'll work for Rabia a little bit first. Yeah, definitely some iconic girl failures for sure. That's why we love and stand them. Do I want to collect tithes? Oh, I should have done this one and got some food. Well, that's fine. Hey, I got some scrap. That's nice. That's nice. Hi, a little energy? Uh-oh. As you say your goodbyes to the other enforcers and walk back through the low end, a chirp catches your attention. Oh, I wonder if this is going to be, Sabine? We haven't heard from them in a while. In a quiet corridor away from the main thoroughfare, someone has stuck a small recorder to the wall with the soup sealant tape. Written across the fluorescent tape is one word. Sleeper. You peel it away from the wall, and as you do, it triggers some kind of improvised trip switch. Sleeper. Aha! Sabine's voice crackles through. I've seen you with the Yadigan members. Are they holding you captive now, too? A high whine. I'm sorry if I dragged you into this. Do not trust them. Something is happening within the gang, some kind of power struggle. You cover the speaker a little, their voice too loud in the quiet corridor. I'll come soon. Thanks to your efforts, I've located most of their properties. At the right time, a pause. I will see you soon. Don't give up. Remember our deal. The recording cuts out. Ooh, what was our deal? Ooh. What? Was I gonna help her escape? Uh-oh. You stare at the recorder, processing what you've just heard. Hearing Sabine's voice again opens up something inside of you. An Espen ARP employee. Do they know that I know? You struggle with a mix of concern and distrust. You throw the recorder in a nearby waste chute as you leave the corridor, still unsure who to trust, and head quietly out of the low end. Uh-oh. I did forget about all the Sabine stuff. Well... Alright, so you have to tick down. I could always forge. Or I could collect spores. There's nothing really here for me. Yeah, I guess these are really our options. We can... There's just so little for me to do really right now. I could stock up on spores. Yeah, I guess I'll stock up on spores. Fine. Alright. It's fine. The story does bang. The story does bang. It's such a good story. The through lines. Alright. I'm not gonna take my medicine now. And take it tomorrow. Don't let me sleep without taking my medicine. Also, medicine check for everyone in the chat. Oh, did Bliss have something going on? Should I check on Bliss? I'm gonna check on Bliss. And I'm gonna take my medicine now, so I don't have to remember it tomorrow. Oh, all threes. How unlikely. Yahtzee. Exactly. Let's cook up some of these girl. Chomp, 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 chomp. Chomp, 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 chomp. Good. It's good that you remembered. You know there's dice, you know there's resource management, then I'm lost. Yeah, it's just resource management. It's just statistics. Trying to decide when to take risks and when not. Have you got anything going on? Oh, right. Oh, right. I forgot about this. Bliss is the ultimate girl failure, but I'm rooting for her. I feel like Bliss would appreciate that, actually. I think she would be on board with that vibe. Okay. Well, I'm only doing this because I might get some scrap. I don't even care. We'll do the rest tomorrow. Oh, wait, today's the, is today the drawing? Yes! More important things happening. Okay. I think that's what a girl failure is. What I like about that is that the concept of girl boss is obnoxious because it implies that you have two things: a boss which is inherently male, and then a girl boss which is a boss that is not male. And there's a lot wrong with that for a lot of reasons. Whether or not a kitten. Tell us about the kitten. But when you invert it like that, it implies that also failure is a word that applies to all men, and that girl failure is an exception carved out for women, which I do like. A little black kitten? How big? How big? Is it still a little potato? Or is it like getting into teen? How babyish? Tell us how babyish. Tiny, 3 months old. Oh, so baby. Does it have a name? Is it all black? Are there any little white bits? Extremely excited about a little black kitten. Yeah, please get a picture. Please get a picture. Oh, you're adopting a new cat? A new baby cat, Chad. You're contractually obligated to post a picture when you get the kitty. I demand cat pics. Pixar GTFO. The crowd have already gathered by the time you get to the shipyard, and you recognize faces among them. People you have worked alongside with on the sidereal. The intervening cycles have turned their excitement to anxiety, and a few of them smile at you. Instead, the nervous energy of the crowd fills the space, creating a feedback loop of growing tension. You pick out Lim and Mina and work your way over to them, pushing through the crowd. He silently raises his eyebrows at you, his anxiety obvious. But Mina flashes you a huge smile, unaware of the tension. "Robot!" she shouts, reaching out at you. "Hi, Mina." She waves frantically, grinning. "Quite the turnout, huh?" Lim glances around, pulling Mina close. "We didn't think patience is one of this crowd's strengths." The sound of an argument towards the back catches your and Lim's attention. He is putting it lightly. The place seems ready to explode. Yeah, this isn't good. Ooh, picture. Hold on. Gotta look at this picture. Cute. Cute. A little fluff. Just a little black fluff. That cat behind him is less than a year old. New siblings. New cat siblings. They're so lucky. Lim doesn't dare answer, but the look in his eyes suggests he agrees. "This is Esther Ingard of the Celis Foundation," the announcement echoes from the speakers at the shipyard's entrance, and shouts of "Quiet! Quiet! Quiet!" rapidly follow. "I'm sorry I can't be there to meet you all, and thank you on behalf of Sandra Celis for the work you have done on the sidereal horizon." Most of the crowd strains to see Aster's face, but the small display shows only a ghostly white figure, smudged and unclear. "Sidra wanted me to pass on her personal thanks for your commitment to and belief in the Celis Foundation's mission. We chose the Eye for this project because we knew that we would find like-minded individuals here, especially among the ranks of the Venerable Haven Age Association." Getting nervous. Yeah, Metal. Getting nervous. Getting real nervous. Rye is a very cute name for a kitty. Lil Rye. Rye. That's cute. That has good kitten vibes. Unlike most of the core, we neither believe Erlin's Eye to be a threat or a rogue state, but instead an embryo for the formation of a new decentralized social structure, one where each citizen might be the master of their own destiny. A ripple of impatience runs through the crowd. They didn't come here for a sermon. "You're all pioneers, just like those core citizens who the sidereal horizon will carry in cryosleep to the planet that will become the Foundation's first frontier world, Celis 1. At the mention of the destination world, excited conversation breaks out among the workers. "In these dark economic times, we have to reassure..." That's the vibe I'm getting from this letter. That this was a form letter that they just read off in front of all of these occasions. It's the same letter every time. "There, our citizens will be able to create their own innovative bottom-up economic order aligned with the principles set down by Sandra Celis herself: freedom, resilience, and self-sustenance. That is all thanks to your tireless efforts in the Haven Age Yards. As a reward for those efforts, you may know that we are offering a select group the opportunity to join the caretakers of this vision, the staff of the sidereal horizon, who will maintain the vessel during its multi-decade transit through interstellar space." Lim turns to you, his eyes bright. "This is it! This draw has been performed at random by the central AIs of the Foundation, and it is final and binding. Please note, only licensed contractors of the Foundation are eligible for this draw. I know you have all been eagerly awaiting this day, and without further delay, I will now read the Celis identification numbers of those chosen for this great honor." A murmur runs through the crowd. Celis identification numbers? Licensed contractors? I knew it! You have never even heard the term mentioned. Is this something you were supposed to be assigned? I fucking knew it. Fucking furious. You glance at Lim and his eyes are fixed forward, wide and shimmering. This is gonna be a fucking riot. We gotta get out of here, Lim. Lim, take Mina and run. Go now. Don't wait for the numbers. All around you, people are speaking in hushed tones like a rising wave. Aster starts reading the sequence of numbers and letters, and panic begins to set in. No one seems to know what is happening. Somewhere near the front of the crowd, someone shouts in celebration, and everyone pushes forward. "Lim?" You turn to see Lim still staring forward. Mina is scared now as the shouts start. "Daddy?" Someone throws something at the entrance and it rattles against the shipyard doors. You see, for the first time, Haven H security stood on either side, scared, arguing between themselves. You feel the anger rising in the crowds. Lim, let's go. He doesn't move. They might call out our names. I can't. Mina tugs his dog tags. It's not happening. Lim blinks rapidly and then turns to you. He opens and closes his mouth and looks down at Mina. He sees the fear in her eyes and understands. It's time to go. You lead Lim and Mina out, shoving people aside. As you do, you hear the sound of scuffles emerging at the front of the crowd, the metal canisters bouncing off the shipyard walls. You keep your head down and walk away, the sound of Aster reading off the ciphers echoing above the chaos like some strange mantra. When you turn to Lim, there are tear tracks running down his cheeks, and Mina is sniffling into his jacket. You feel the sadness rising in you, too. They screwed you, screwed all of you. You are never even on the list. The feeling is as unpleasant as it is familiar. You stare ahead into the tunnel as the security sirens sound out, a signal for the coming violence. Drive failed. Wait. Was there a way to succeed that drive, do you think? Do you think there was a way to succeed that drive? I'm gonna have to Google that one. I'm nervous. I mean, yeah, it's not vaporize. Well, I do, but I don't want to ruin it for anyone in the chat. I'll just Google it. Had to bribe somebody, maybe? I didn't see a lot of other options, but that doesn't mean that there weren't options. I just didn't see them. I mean, it's possible also that, it's possible that I failed a conversation. Like, maybe Dragos knew the information, but then because I had that falling out with Dragos, I never got the inside line to it. Because that old guy knows a lot of stuff. There's a note on the door of the unit. Sleeper, gone to find work, Lem. Oh, Lem. You poor sweet... My poor sweetheart. Oh. I'll search for fungus one more time. I just want to have a lot of spores. Alright, perfect. So when these are up, I can replace them immediately. Can someone eat subs to Lucretia's cat? Let's try to get scrap. Ooh. We did it. We're scrappy. You can't say we're not. Alright, let's end this cycle. Whew, that was a rough one. I never really expected that to work out. Like, it just didn't seem like it didn't seem like a legit sell. But I'm really sad for Lim and Mina. They're not as hard as I am. You know, they're not as weathered, cynical. They haven't been through the ringer like I have. They just don't know. They don't know how this world works. Not like you and me, Cat. Not like you and me. But they're safe. That's the important part. Let me buy some scrap. Let me buy some scrap. I'm gonna buy some scrap. I got the money. I'm gonna buy some scrap. Oh ho. There we go, there we go. Get all that scrap. Bam. Perfect. One ship mine, fine. What do I want to do with these dice? I should be able to harvest some mushies, I think? Not yet. Oh, but I can do the one. Her name is Boo. Boo's a very cute name for a kitty. I mean, it was what Lim wanted for him and Mina. I didn't think it was a good idea anyway, but it's what he wanted for them, and you know. Sometimes supporting people means supporting them in their dreams, even if you think it's not the right idea. Does that make sense? All right, nice. We're swimming in scrap. All right, let's go do this Ankita thing. Is there anything else I'm going to use this 5 for? If I store this here and then re-roll my dice, is it going to re-roll that one too? No, it didn't. That's great. Okay. I don't really have anything else to use that 6 or 4, so... Well, let's see if I can just clear this off. Hey! And I got scrap! Swimming in scrap. Alright. Amber looks better than she ever has before. Bliss has done an incredible job of cleaning up the hole, and despite the interior changes being limited, she has the impression of being lighter, somehow sleeker than before. Moritz drifts by. He has been loading up the final equipment onto Amber. It turns out Ankita will be taking her weapons, but packed and ready to sell at the first starward belt port she hits. But now that Moritz is done, he seems in kind of a daze, floating back and forth aimlessly. You okay, Moritz? What's that? He turns. Oh, right, yeah. Packed and stacked. He smiles a weak smile. Was hoping Miss Cassetta would let me keep a warhead. For what? He shrugs. I don't know. Just might be a cool thing to have around. Hey, Sleeper. He looks down. Did you know Bliss was leaving? You'll understand now. She told him. That's why he is like this. I did. He nods distractedly. She said this place is mine. He looks up around the bay like it was suddenly some vast space he doesn't know what to do with. Can you manage it? He looks down at you and a dazed look in his face. I don't know. I just don't know. A dark look suddenly crosses his face. Hey, Sleeper, there is something Bliss said. He meets your eye. Are you going to? Fuck no. Before you can answer, Ankita glides into the bay, a massive crate on her shoulder. Sleeper, you coming or what? Bliss is already on board. She stops by the terminal, holding herself in place. Moritz looks at her with a dazed expression. You look at Ankita. Moritz he's where I was 50 cycles ago. You look at Ankita. She's keeping it together now. She's packed all those bad feelings down someplace where you'll never see them and build a tough foundation on top. She may not be a mercenary anymore, but you imagine most people would think twice before trying to cross her. Well, she looks at you. I'm not eager to spend another moment of my time on this station unless I have to. She pauses, looking between you and Moritz. She sighs. I'll give you a minute. And she kicks off with the crate, taking it to the end of the bay where the Amber sits docked. I get the impression that all of these stories go a lot differently. When I looked on Steam, this has the Choices Matter tag, which I thought was, one, a really funny tag, and two, a funny deploying of that concept. But it does seem like legitimately like there's quite a different story if you choose different things. And I'm really curious. You look back at Moritz. I'm staying. Moritz looks like he might pass out. Sleeper, are you sure? Are you doing this for me? I'm staying for me. Moritz nods. All right, then. You're staying. He grins. Ankita comes back across the bay, the final crate stowed. You staying then, Sleeper? That's all right. She nods. Oh, why couldn't we have fallen in love? Well, okay, then. One last mouth to feed. She pauses. Look, Sleeper, I'm not going to back over everything that happened. She sighs. I'm trying to put that behind me, but I hope you find what you're looking for here. She smiles and kicks off the gliding to the ambergris and the starward belt beyond. You both watch in silence as Amber's drives fire up. I guess this is our place now, says Moritz, the weight of everything suddenly hitting him. Your place. He smiles. Okay, but I'll need some help from time to time. You both stay for a while to watch Amber and Bliss and Ankita leave, and then Moritz goes to the Rex to finally implement a new organizational system, and you head out, promising to be back to check on things soon. Yeah, gold stars. I knew the real reason. It was more of a rhetorical longing that I was expressing. As you glide around the soft curve of the hub, you catch glimpses of the distant stars flickering through the windows. They're beautiful, it's true, but by now you think of them as a distraction. In your time on the Eye, you've realized there's nothing out there waiting for you. No fresh starts, no bright futures, just a whole load of problems you haven't found yet. Wow, Grim! No, your place is here, among the people you know and the problems you know. Fucking Grim! You wish Ankita and Bliss the best luck out there in the belt. But as you do, you focus on the Eye, on the vast spinning rim that floats around its hub, on its buildings and flashing lights, on its people and places. This is your home, and for now, it contains all the futures you need. Wait! I was still doing stuff! Wait, stop! No, don't roll the credits! Stop the fucking credits! I was still doing things! No! What about the cat? It'll reload you into the game. I kind of assumed so. Okay, this is exactly what I was, so rude. This is exactly what I was saying, that it felt like it was building up to me either leaving the base or making the decision to stay, and so I think that's just what triggered it. I think it could have been anything, but it was this. Like, I assume, what do I assume? I assume that, if we had succeeded on the raffling thing, we could have potentially gotten off that way. And I have to assume the DLC stuff, also has the potential to leave. Like, we could leave with, the refugees, maybe. The curse is lifted? You get credits every time you fully complete a quest, whether you leave or stay. For what it's worth, if you had chosen to leave, it would have reloaded you before the conversation, so you could choose to stay and continue other quests. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense if I leave that I couldn't complete the other quests on the ship. Next round is yours. Moritz arrives at the table with a couple of steel drink canisters, typical of the hub's only bar, the Gimbal Lounge. He settles into the webbing beside the table and clunks them down onto the magnetic table. This place, you've decided, is ridiculous. A rapidly spinning cavernous sphere, the gimbal's weak gravity, just like the gravity at the Eye's rim, is created by a gut-wrenching rotation. The inner section of the surface of the sphere is the gimbal's floor, which descends towards the equator, where one long bar loops around the entire circumference. Tumbling out from the central ring are an array of booths and seating arrangements equipped with all kinds of harnesses and webbing to keep customers in place. Those harnesses are there because the gimbal doesn't quite spin up fast enough, and you watch as the clientele bounce towards the bar in lazy arcs or shift from table to table with graceful leaps. What are you saying? Asks Moritz, noticing you staring out into the gimbal. How weird this place is. Moritz glances around as if for the first time. Yeah, Bliss never used to like coming here. Moritz takes a drink and stretches. So, Sleep, are you sticking around? I have some things to take care of. Moritz nods. Yeah, I thought you might. Moritz rubs the back of his head. One cycle at a time, that's how we'll take it. Nice and easy. You aren't sure if he's talking to himself or you. We'll make it. He lifts his drink for a toast. To the next cycle, he pronounces, and knocks it back. Cheers! Later, when you finally leave the gimbal, Moritz is still laughing. You help him out of the spinning gimbal and back into the hub, sending him on his way home to the bay. Then you pause for a moment and watch the stars as they spin and spin around the Eye. You smile to yourself and think of Bliss and Ankita out there somewhere among those points of light. To the next cycle. Well, I hope they're happy together. And I don't even care about it. So it's fine. It's like just whatever. Okay, getting closer. Gonna become a Yachtigan insider. I fed the cat this morning. I always feed the cat every morning. The cat's gonna ask me to leave on a spaceship with it. Angie the cat would never lie to me like that. We have a perfect bond. Worried about this red thing. Worried about this red wheel ticking down. I think all games should have a secret Neko Atsume plot that you can unlock by befriending kitties. That's how I feel. I'm gonna die for that cat? Fine. Fine. I'll take it. I'll do it. I love that cat. Named after my favorite Pokemon. Come on. Oh, I got it. I got the club head. I am still gonna plant more. I mean, I got the spores, you know. All games need a meow button. Why has this game given me a mouth if I can't meow with it? Alright. Yeah. What we got, Rico? Tell me the good news. Rico is at her bench, running small vials of some liquid through an old chemical analysis machine. The whirring of the spinning drum fills the lab with white noise, and you aren't sure if she notices you approach. Sleeper, it's good to see you. She looks up smiling. This little project of ours has been keeping me awake the past few cycles, but right now, well, I think I have something. What is it? The drum finishes spinning and Rico lifts a vial from it, holding it up to the light. This is something I extracted from those club heads you've been bringing me, and according to my analysis, it is a substance totally unique on the Greenway. You look at the small amount of liquid in the vial. Any ideas what it might be? Rico asks without looking away from the vial. Is it medicine for me? Stabilizer. Rico nods. You aren't the first sleeper to come through here. Perhaps I should have mentioned that earlier. Rico's tone suddenly drops, changing the atmosphere in the lab immediately. I just thought, she pauses, thinking very carefully of how to continue. I just want you to trust us. What do you mean? She sighs. They came through a fair few cycles ago. We found them wandering in the broken section near the gap. The members who brought them in had never seen one of you before. They were terrified of the strange person wandering in from open vacuum. They are quieter than you and damaged. We did our best to patch them up and welcomed them to the commune. I only really spoke to them once while I was working on their wounds along with a couple system engineers. She looked nervously at you. I'd never seen a body like that before. I took some readings, some samples. You have to understand, I was curious. I didn't know what I was looking at. I just took a little of the damaged material, less than a thumbnail. She shifts her weight to her crutch. The next cycle, they were gone. They took a little food and hiked up towards the wild margins where the Greenway meets the wastes. Somebody saw them in a distance, but that was it. They disappeared into the undergrowth. Do you think this is the one? Yeah, Mechtil, exactly. I think this is the one that Ankita killed that was with Ashton. She sits down heavily, the vial in her hand. When I saw you, I wanted things to be different. I wanted to keep you here rather than letting you disappear into wherever they ended up. She smiles to herself. Yes, I wanted to understand this place better, but I also wanted to help you. It seems that somehow both my wishes have come true at once. She holds out a hand with the vial. This is for you. You take the stabilizer, your glass cold and smooth in your palm. Thank you. Don't thank me. She glances out at the Greenway through the glass. Those club heads caps made it for you. Or at least two or whatever made those club heads. She starts to clear her bench. It was right there, contained in their tissue. I only had to extract it. I imagine you understand how incredible that is. I learned enough from that sleeper to know that your body, your frame, is it?
runs on some exotic technology. Exotic technology that has a time limit built in. Somehow the Greenway knows that too. It understands your physiology much better than I ever could. It knows how to treat you. I just got literal physical chills. Just like that miraculous antidote that sprung from the mold, so too has this sprung from your presence here. The Greenway is speaking to you. It is welcoming you. She looks up. I know that sounds crazy, but I know it to be true. Here's the evidence. And what I also know is that it is no longer speaking to me. Even after decades here, I've never seen this kind of response. Not since the antidote so many cycles before. She smiles. So I'm gonna make you a deal. You bring me as many club heads as you like. I'll extract the stabilizer and give it to you freely. But you have to tell me what the Greenway says. You have to speak with it, to dig into it, to find what being is at the center of it. I've traveled as far as I can. I need you to do the rest. Can you do that? Yeah. Riko sighs with relief and deflates in her chair. Thank you. I'm sorry for the other sleeper. Truly I am. I'm sorry I couldn't have done more. But I'm so glad I met you, she smiles. You're welcome here any time. Riko falls silent. She looks smaller now, more fragile. You realize how old she must be to have seen the collapse firsthand. You idle a little in the lab, in case she asks for anything else, but she remains silent, and so you drift back to the tunnel, thoughts of that other sleeper and where they ended up weighing on your mind. It's not weighing on my mind. I think I just kind of know. Yes, your only way to understand what Gardner gave you is to show it. Riko is incredibly excited by the prospect. We found it! We found the place for the seed! Is anything happening with Single Dad today? I think it still needs one more tick up. We'll see. I'll take good care of it, Sleeper, Riko smiles. Don't you worry. I do worry, Riko. Alright, that's a lot of ticks. Alright, cool. So I just need 2 club heads now to get stabilizer. That fucking rules. Fucking rules, y'all. Really excited about that. Okay. So there's this one. All I need is some scrap. Ha! Mazzaloo, I can see it. I feel like the actual art from for Lem kind of looks like low-key it could be Pedro Pascal. Maybe it's just because Pedro Pascal has worked out such a dad niche for himself. That kind of vibe. Let's roll the dice. Oh, that was worse. I don't want to use this one on that. Am I saying Pedro has daddy vibes? Well, it's not exactly what I was saying, but I don't disagree with the assessment. Let's just get some data. Is there any place we can use this one? Yeah. Nice. All right. Another good cycle. That sound makes me nervous so many times. Feed the kitty. Nya nya nya. Nya 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 nya. Okay. Oh, is it gone? Is the ship just gone? Is the ship just gone? That's really it? I thought for sure there'd be something else there. But it does not look like it. Damn. Ship mine. Don't need it. Okay. Uh-oh. There's no answer when you buzz Lim's unit, but the door is open. Uh-oh. You push the door and find Mina, sitting in the middle of the floor, playing with Bun Bun. Hey, Mina! Hi, robot, says Mina sullenly, waving Bun Bun's paw without looking up. How are you? Bun Bun is sad, says Mina, nodding the toy's head in agreement. Like Daddy. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. They've just called me Sleeper the whole time. Even the game didn't let me give a name. Ooh, you look around the unit. It is a mess. Dishes and glasses on the side, some of Mina's clothes piled up in the corner. Mina is sitting by her bag, which is spilled out across the floor, her drawing slate cracked and dark. I'm gonna tidy up a little. You start with the kitchen units, piling up the stomach in the auto wash and wiping them down. You pile the clothes up next, folding them neatly. Mina watches you quietly as she plays, curious but silent. You've just started to look at fixing her cracked slate when Lim enters. Sleeper, what are you? He pauses, looking from you to Mina and back again. Never mind. He drops a bag by the door and slumps onto the couch. Everything okay? Lim lets out a weak laugh. You forgot the past few cycles now too? Wish I was so lucky. He looks away at the open door. Look, now's not a good time. I want to help. Help? Unless you have a sidereal ticket or two on you, I don't think there's much you can do here. He pinches the bridge of his nose. You'll understand they never even put us on the list, right? I've been all around the rim looking for work, and I've run into more than a few from the crew. It turns out only long-time Haven Age members were issued those Celis idea numbers. They never planned to consider us. Haven Age say they didn't know that was what they were going to use to make the draw, and who knows? Maybe Celis pulled the wool over their eyes. But what does it matter? All those hours in the yards for a hand-to-mouth wage and nothing else. He slams his hand down on the sofa. You're giving up? Lim opens his mouth to respond, but stops himself. He looks at the open door again. They're moving the sidereal up the hub now, you know. He says without meeting your eye. That's where it'll depart. They're bringing in a ship with all their cryosleep pioneers and transferring them up there in microgravity before loading the crew. Ooh, sneak on board or steal a ticket. I don't think sneaking on board. I think we'd get found out. We could steal a ticket. Lim laughs. There's no ticket. I was joking before. Just those ID numbers coded to somebody's identity. No stealing that. He looks over at Mina. Look, we'll be fine. We always have been. I just need a little time. He sighs. We had our hearts set on that trip is all. Mina comes over and climbs into his lap. He smiles. What if I got you on board? I missed you these past few cycles. I miss that optimism. Lim strokes Mina's hair. Look, you want to go up the hub and ask around, be my guest. I can't get up there with Mina down here, and I'm sure the Sidereal will bring in a crew. But be careful. This kind of thing always attracts scammers and thieves. You find a way to get on board, you take it. You need help getting there? Ask me. But for now, me and Meanie are sticking to the eye. She looks up at him and smiles. I'll find a way for us all. Ooh, no, I don't want to go. Thanks, Lim. No, thank you, Sleeper, for coming by. You stand to leave and Mina grabs your hand, eager to give you one more smile. Then you're out, back in the walkways of the low end, already thinking of plans to make this right. Ooh, don't know if I'm going to be able to make it right, though. Ooh, don't know about that. I'm not leaving the cute dad. I don't want to go on the ship. That's just it. Alright. What we got? We just don't even have all that much to do anymore. I guess we could go and do more of the DLC. The DLC stuff is always so intensive. Hey. This time, you meet inside Rabia's office, although now that you've seen it, the office seems like the wrong term. You find her stood in an almost bare, shadowy unit midway through a sequence of stretches. There are 2 low stools and a terminal in the corner, but it seems that most of the space is taken up with a heavy punching bag, rubber matting, and a stack of weights. When Rabia turns to greet you, you realize she's missing an arm. The prosthetic she usually wears is set in a cradle near the terminal, and a web of colored wires running to it. Updates, she says, noticing you looking where her artificial arm usually is. Nothing to worry yourself with. Of course. Sit, says Rabia, gesturing to the 2 diminutive stools. You both settle on the stools, Rabia crossing her legs on top and sitting straight-backed. Jaya told me you've been doing the rounds, collecting tithes, patrolling the ward, she smiles. Some of the enforcers are impressed. I hear you handled a few difficult circumstances. Nicely done. I wanted to see for myself. She raised an eyebrow. See what for yourself? If I can trust you. I see. Rabia flexes her neck side to side. And the conclusions? Still deciding. Well, Sleeper, she says teasingly. Don't tease me, Rabia. I can't take it. Please keep us updated on any progress. She smiles a thin smile. Joking aside, I know that for you, life on the Eye has been a struggle. But I hope we can do something about that from here onwards. Though some of our members may not see it this way, I know you too are a refugee. She looks at you solemnly. That is why you have come to us. Enough, Rabia. Sabine's voice cuts through the conversation. I'm tired of listening to your affected nobility. They cross the room, Rabia's baton in their hand, its the end lit with sparking electricity. Rabia looks between the 2 of you. I suppose this ambush was another cooperation between you 2? She looks strangely unfazed. No, they're acting alone. Sabine pauses, thrown off for a moment by your renunciation. Rabia takes the opportunity to act. Oh no, oh no! I'm sorry, Sabine. I'm sorry, Sabine! How do I undo? She leaps from the stool and, feigning past Sabine, grabs a baton and twists it inward. She's by far the stronger, and she pushes Sabine to their knees, plunging the cracked end of the baton towards their chest. They freeze there, Sabine struggling to keep the cracked baton from their skin. Stop! Then you support them, Rabin asks you, her eyes not leaving Sabine. Your loyalties are so easily swayed. I thought you were more than Yannick's attack dog, Rabin. Sabine spits back. Are you not able to think for yourself? Rabin holds the baton strong, and for a moment you think she's about to hammer it down onto Sabine's chest. But after a painful wait, she throws Sabine down instead, then spins the baton in her hand, thumbing a switch and shutting it off in a single move. Ooh, now what? They both look at you, each still catching their breaths, as if they have forgotten about your presence. Rabin... Oh, Rabia. I'm now sensing Rabin. Rabia cracks her neck. You're lucky I didn't kill you. I would have had every right. Every right, she shouts, the anger a release of tension more than a threat. Sabine lifts themselves a little. Bruised from the fall, they roll to their side and cough. Rabia gives them some space, sitting back on their stool. Sabine props themselves up on their elbows and fixes Rabia with a hard stare. You have something to say, Rabia taunts? Say it. This is your final opportunity, because after this, she laughs, no coming back. What's the point? Sabine breathes heavily. She refuses to listen to criticisms of the great Yadigan project. Rabia collects herself. Speak, she crosses her arms and waits to be convinced. So much talking. Now the chat has an echo problem. Sabine takes a breath, organizing their thoughts. They go to start, pause, then decide on another approach. Eventually they say it. Yannick is a traitor. Rabia immediately flinches, her eye going to her prosthetic arm, her muscles clenching, but she rides it out, more eager to prove Sabine wrong than she is to hurt them, at least for now. Ba-ba-ba-ba. When I came here from Espenarp, they glance at you, gauging your reaction. It was Yannick who was the one of the first to support me, to look after me. I should have known then, but I was naive and afraid. Sabine turns to you. Sleeper. They take a breath. I know I should have told you that I worked for Espenarp long ago, but I thought you would abandon me, and you are my final friend. Ugh, that's awkward. We're really just kind of acquaintances, conspirators at best. What you should know is that I left Espenarp because I was running for my life. I leaked documents on the Sleeper program, on the illegal and immoral practices it relied on, to the press. Espenarp wanted me dead, and I fled as far as I could, to this refuge at the end of the surrogate systems. Sabine stops to collect themselves. What does this have to do with Yannick? Rabia interrupts. The sleeper knows you're an Espinarp. I told them. And while you hide beneath the cover of being a whistleblower, you and I both know you worked on the sleeper program. Yannick told me as much. Sabine's face fall. It is true. They glance at you and then away, ashamed. They lift their head. But it is Yannick, not me, who is in the pocket of Espinarp. Rabia flinches again. I can prove it. He made some kind of deal to keep me here, to tie me up in debt, to lock me away. In exchange... Rabia slams her hand on the desk. Just tell us, for God's sake. In exchange for those, Sabine finishes, nodding towards Rabia's prosthetic arm on its cradle. He's been using Yadigan enforcers, using you as test subjects for Espinarp technology. I have the data to prove it. He's been bringing them in under the guise of stolen shipments and having me fit them, knowing each one is capturing data and sending it back to its masters. Rabia's fixed expression has started to fade. Sabine produces a slate. It's all here. Thousands of hours of usage data, failure reports, error dumps. These are untested implants, Rabia. They could short out, fail, cause cascading failures across a person's body. And they have. Sabine suddenly looks incredibly tired. I thought the error rate in the unit was down to them being stolen or modified. I've tried to fix hundreds of failures in my time here. Not all of them... They stop, unable to continue. Rabia closes her eyes and breathes in. Then she opens them again. She holds out a hand to Sabine. Show me, she says. Later, much later, when you leave, Sabine is still taking Rabia through the manifests and usage data. Both of them crowded around the terminal as Sabine leads Rabia through each layer of Yannick's betrayal. As you leave, Sabine catches your eye and something passes between you. Something like a thank you or a sorry or some other expression that communicates both sadness and hope. Cola. Yeah. I guess... Nah, I'm not even gonna bother. It does feel like big enemies to lovers, yes. It does feel that vibe for sure. Ooh. Oh, it's a sidereal. Oh, okay. I want to check in on Bliss. Not Bliss. I want to check in on Moritz. Bay is taking low-scale repair contracts now. I don't need the money. Thank you, though. Ooh. You hope against hope that there's a chink in Sidereal Horizon's vast armor. Oh, yeah, I want to do this. Drazia, that's certainly a line. That is certainly a line. Do I want to finish this? I guess I really don't have anything else going on. So yeah, let's just do it. You watch the loading crews going back and forth, noting their paths and entryways. Could this work? No. Quite the... Castor! It's Castor! We helped him! Do you guys remember? Quite the achievement, isn't she? Sandra Celis must be proud. You recognize the resonating voice of Castor immediately, and turn to see him hooded and tucked into the shadows near the viewing platform. Castor? I see you remember our game. Good. He looks around, but the platform is clear. I'm afraid you'll have to wait for a rematch. Microgravity makes Tavla a little difficult. He smiles broadly. Yeah, it's the chess guy. I sold him a bunch of stuff. I sold him a bunch of data. Castor walks out to stand beside you on the platform. The telltale clunk of magnetic boots accompanies his slow crossing. He notices you looking at them. I don't much like it up here, he explains. I heard there was some trouble at the Haven Age shipyard when they announced the results of the crew lottery. Yeah, they screwed us. I know, he sighs, meeting your eye. An ugly business. Celis are too used to the way things work on the core. Exploitation is the only logic they know. He gestures out to the sidereal. You know why they built this monstrosity on the Eye? Control? Certainly. But there's no corporate oversight out here. But that's not all. He stares at the pristine yellow hull. Celis built it here, says Castor gravely, because they didn't want anyone to know it exists. He rubs his forehead. And secrecy is something I cannot abide. He turns to face you. Yeah, what are you going to do about it, Castor? That's really fucked up that this ship that is trying to colonize a planet is a secret, but also, who is it a secret from? There are people being loaded onto that ship as we speak. Sleeping people locked in cryosleep like the person that you were emulated from. There are hundreds of them, and Celis wants to send them out to a planet at the edge of the settled systems without anyone knowing where it is. I mean, this really is some aliens shit, right? But you, Sleeper, can do something about that. You're like me, you deal with data. You can read it right out of the air. With someone like you on that ship, secrecy isn't a problem. You can ping back whatever I need whenever I need it, as long as you're on board. With you on the sidereal and with some minor modifications, he pauses. You can be my eyes and ears. I'll keep track of Celis's grand project through you. In short, says Castor, stretching, I can get you aboard, Sleeper, but I'm gonna need you to help me. Who are you? I'm a concerned party. Someone who likes to know what is happening when it is happening, not afterwards. I mean, can I get Castor to get Lim and Mina on board, though? Like... I'm worried if I say I'm not going, that's like gonna end the conversation. Well, Mechtel, I agree, but it doesn't seem like there's any good place to be. Oh. I just want Mina to have a good life. Oh. I mean, there's no good place and there's no bad place. You just gotta kind of live. And but Liv and Mina want to get on the ship. And I think that's a terrible idea, but I want to support them. It's not just me, yeah, Madzaloo, I think it's not just me implies all of us, but I don't want to go. It's not just me. Yes, your friend Lim. That can be arranged. It's difficult, but not impossible. The condition is, of course, that you go too. Castor clunks closer to the window, watching the tugs wheeling around the sidereal. It's a simple offer, and the only one that will get you on that ship. Please consider it. He turns back, silhouetted against the ship. But to make it happen, I need your assistance, as I said. There's a Celis Foundation ship docked in the now empty shipyard. I need the data from its servers. This will allow me to produce the ideas necessary for your transit. Yeah, and my cat, right? My cat! Hello? Okay, I'm gonna take a run at your game. Hello, Colorado Mountain Man. I got it. Madzaloo, it's very tempting. It's really tempting. Castor looks over his glasses at you. Celis aren't stupid, though. Their ship is totally isolated from the station. You'll need to get on board if you want to access to their air-walled servers. Easy. Easy. Once you have the data, meet me at your friend's unit so we give him the good news. He smiles. I notice his importance to you, and the little one. So cute. You don't extract the data before the sidereal leaves the hub, then I'll get the message. We have other options, but you are certainly my preferred one. But be sure when you act, Sleeper, once you take the data from Celis, you'll set off a series of events that will, likely be hard for you to untangle yourself from. Yeah, that's been this whole fucking game. Either way, I recommend you stop asking around up here. You're bringing a lot of attention to yourself. Castor glances around as if to emphasize his point. There are only a handful of cycles and departures, Sleeper. Make your decision. With that, Castor marches back off the platform, the sound of his mag boots fading away, leaving you to contemplate the sidereal horizon and the part it may play in your future. Yeah, I can't. I can't. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to grow the mushrooms. I need medicine, and the ship is going to make medicine for me. I don't think I can ever leave. Will Lim and Mina be mad at me if I... if they know that I'm not gonna take this option for them. No, they'll understand. Lim will be sad, but he'll understand. Alright, those are growing. That's ticking down. This is just mushrooms now, right? Oh, that's where I get stabilizer, right? Whew. I mean, I could bust open the next episode of the DLC. They won't be bad if they never find out. Everybody always learns everything here, though. Everybody always learns everything. Nothing's a secret. I don't think they do have medicine on the ship, but I assume that the game is implying maybe that, like, I'll be able to grow my own mushrooms. I don't know. I don't know what the game thinks the plan for the stabilization is. Plot hole! Okay. But I want to open the greenway. I can't. I just can't. I don't think I can do it. Yeah, I just don't think I can do it. Please don't read that too far into that statement. It's just gonna spit you out before you leave if you go anyway, right? I mean, like, I think it'll give me the option to... I think it'll show us that end and stick us out, maybe. Listen, I can't do it. I feel so bad about it. But I simply can't. There's too many plot points I need to resolve here. That just has to be how it is. So what I am gonna do is make everything worse for myself and unlock the next episode of the DLC. Let's make some trouble. There are 2 plot points and I want to see both of them. Alright, we have access to the flotilla. What can we do here? Oh, I have to earn my way into being the flotilla's friend too? Okay. Okay. Interface versus endure. I think I get money if I do interface. Is that right? Yeah, I have a chance to get some cryo. So let's interface. Okay. Alright. Ticking away. Tick, 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 tick. I love the greenway. I can't wait to see what we unlock when we grow that thing. When we grow that seed. So excited. You should always be flossing. Alright, that's ticking. Everything's ticking. Just kind of gotta wait, I guess. I mean, I'm glad I opened up the DLC so we've got something to do while the days pass and our beautiful mystery seed grows. I think it's gonna be an elm. I think it's gonna be a big, beautiful, mighty elm. I did it! I'm the friend. I'm a friend of y'all's. Peek! Hey, what's up? As you walk into the bay of the climbing briar, the familiarity of the space overcomes any trepidation. It feels good to be back, and the return feels earned, especially after all the work it took to figure out a route through the flotilla's jumble of ships that might lead you to this blue streak. You see Eshi and Peak immediately sitting on the back of the bay, letting the tide wash in, deep in conversation. Their closeness causes you to stop, suddenly aware that you might be interrupting something private. Peak is gesturing wildly as Eshi stares out into the middle distance, hunched over. As Peak tries to get her attention, she spots you. Sleeper, as she nods. Didn't quite turn out like we hoped, right? Yeah, and why do you think that is, Eshi? Peak stops and glances between the two of you, the tension rising. I'm not going to apologize for shit. And I do desperately want to give her shit for this. But I think she might... Well, let's fucking move on, okay, Eshi? I'll be chill if you'll be chill. The plan was always risky. For me more than you. Oh, you fuck... Eshi shakes her head. Maybe if you'd spent less time trying to question it, things would have gone better. I can't with this character. I can't with her. Peak looks nervous. It has worked out, they appeal to you. The flux event knocked the entire cordon system offline. The flotilla is free, and Haven Age are backing off. Flux event? That's what the refugees are calling it, Peak explains. Apparently that's what they call it when it started happening around Ember. What exactly is happening? Hard to tell. It's some kind of disruptive wave that only affects electrical systems. Uh-oh. Peak chips in. Typically, systems are screened against radiation and interference out here anyway, but this seems to be dulled, but not stopped by those defenses. The crisis continues, Eshe sighs. The cordon may be down, but this brings a whole other set of problems. You should tell them, Eshe. Peak glances at her. Please. Eshe doesn't respond. Tell you what. You stare at her back, waiting for a response. Please, Eshe. Haven't they shown you that they can be trusted? Peak nods toward you. Yeah, I'm sorry. If one of us can't be trusted, it's you. You blew our entire fucking plan by leaving early. Eshe turns, her arms folded tightly across her chest. She goes to start and then stops. You can see the anger in her eyes, but you realize it's not directed at you or anyone else. She's angry with herself. Well, I brought weapons to the flotilla, she pauses, and now Haven Age has them. You suddenly remember the sleek crates that were tucked into the bay, marked with a yellow sigil. The ones Eshe told you were just supplies. What were you thinking? I was thinking that if the cordon wasn't going to be lifted, the refugees will need something to change that. She stares at you defiantly. Would you rather they just stayed quiet and died like good citizens? We got food to them without you giving them guns. We hope that they will keep safe, but given recent events, Peak glances nervously at Eshe. We weren't so sure that Haven Age is the right place for the weapons to be. Well, yeah, no, probably not. I wouldn't put it past them to try to use them to take the cordon back by force, Eshe glares. They were scared and losing control. In my experience, that's when institutions do dangerous things. Well, that's fair. That's a fair read. Whether that's true, we can't do anything about it now, Eshe, short of marching into the yards at the other end of the eye and taking them back. Uh-oh. Is that what they're gonna make me do? Anxious Topiary, thank you for the gift sub for Cola. Eshe looks like that is exactly what she would like to do. You see what we're doing here? This is what I'm dealing with? Peak smiles nervously. Plus, we have other things to be getting on with. I want to study the Flux Sleeper to study it. No, I want to understand the Flux Sleeper to study it. Peak's eyes light up. This thing is changing the entire system, causing problems across the inner system, driving refugees off Ember's moons, and now it's here. If we don't do something about it, Peak pauses, it's a problem for all of us. I'll fucking say. I can see more immediate problems, Eshe sniffs. Peak ignores her. I've been looking at the networks, and when the Flux events hit, it changed things. It shuffled systems, corrupted nodes, and broke open data stores. Ooh. They take out a slate and show you a flickering polygon. Some of these fluxed nodes have appeared near the epicenter of the event, but I can't access them. Hey, you, however. I saw the way you worked with data when we were preparing for the run. I think you can get into these things. I want you to find a flux node and bring me anything you can extract. They come and go, but most can be found in the barely functioning networks of the waste. Peaks pauses. Start there. Are there raiders? Were we raided? Hey, Save Data team. Welcome. Hello. I was so invested in the events of this game. I didn't even see you. Hello. Welcome, raiders. We're playing Citizen Sleeper. It's a cyberpunk anti-capitalist game. It's extremely good. The writing's really good. You're showing up very late game though, so sorry. Sorry about that. What were y'all doing on your stream? What were y'all playing? Were you chatting? What's up? It's me. It's me, the Jenna. Yeah, all the characters are super hot, as you can see from Peak. They've got a fanny pack and they wear it on the chest like a bandolier. What's hotter than that? Perhaps together we can find something that might point us to what the flux is and where it comes from. Okay. The Case of the Golden Idol. Oh, hell yeah. I streamed that game too. It's so good. It's so good. How far in are you? Like, what sequence did you most recently finish? That game is so fucking good. They smile. I knew you'd agree. Eshe looks indignant. Don't waste too much time chasing ghosts, Sleeper. There are people on this flotilla that need any help they can get. I'm sure Sleeper can do both, Eshe. Peak smiles at you. Certainly can. I'll see you here when you have something. Good hunting. And they wave you out as Eshe stomps away to make plans of her own. Oh, the exploding vase. That one was so hard. I had to take more notes for the exploding vase section than probably the rest of the game combined, just to get all of the like spell stuff figured out. I could not parse it without extensive notes. Game's so good though. Oh, you need flux data, huh? Can I go to the eye in this section? Flux node? Well, what the fuck is this? Node flickers in and out, its position shifting slightly each time. Yeah, let's try this. I am thirsty, thank you. This game, if it's something that you're interested in checking out, is on the Xbox Game Pass. Usable for Xbox and PC. Night Mozart goats. Have good sleep. What's worse, exploding vase or the dancing knife fight? I love the dancing knife fight, though, is the thing. It was really great. That was really great, and I don't regret it. Alright, I got the flux data. That was so easy. That was so easy. Someone told me I should be thanking you. The voice comes from behind you, cutting through the chaos of the crowded, cavernous bay. You freeze. Don't be afraid now. I've been hunting you, sure, but for all the best reasons. Oh, I hope this person's hot. You turn to see bright eyes set in a rough face, framed in rusted metal. Whoa. 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 Soul. He holds out his hand, the other clamped firmly around a knotted wooden cane. Which hand? Which hand does he reach out? Shake his hand. He grips you firmly with a heavy and calloused hand. Forgive me. As soon as I saw you, I knew who you were. Soul puts a hand on your shoulder. Which hand does he put on my shoulder? I've been told a sleeper was part of the supply run that came in several cycles ago. He nods. A very welcome act, and we all thank you for it. Walk with me, Sleeper. Soul sets off through the bay, his partial suit hissing and creaking as it helps carry him through the busy crowds. You notice people making way for you and Soul, standing back and letting you pass. You pass a makeshift kitchen, steaming pots on heating elements, a restless queue collecting meals. That algae that came through isn't exactly a full meal, but with what we have here, we've been able to make it work. You see a ladle of a greenish stew dished out. That color is something, isn't it? Soul smiles. Did they misspell callous? I did not even notice. Callous is the adjective meaning. I didn't even clock that. Good catch. Soul leads you out of the larger bay into a corridor lined with storage rooms that are now serving as dorms. You see someone filling a metal container with a standpipe, the water gushing out readily. Soul nods to the person as he passes. Just a little further now. Soul leads you into a freight elevator and whistles to some unseen operator to start up. It jerks into life, and as you pass through the layers of the ship, you see people on every level, supplies crammed into every available space, and sparks leaping in bursts as the ship is reshaped and modified to sustain its population. If Haven Age were expecting an exodus from the flotilla, the Flux event has put a stop to that, Soul stretches. Some have crossed to the eye, but many just to gather salvage or score a hot meal. So the pressure on our supplies is shrinking, but not like I'd hoped. With the Flux reaching all the way out here, people are starting to understand that our journey might not be over. Soul stares grimly ahead. Oof. Suddenly, the freight elevator screeches to a halt, and Soul leads you slowly out into a wide room of chairs and terminals, ringed by a mezzanine and a glass roof above showing the distant hub, the far curve of the eye beyond. The people at the terminals nod to him as he enters. This is your ship? Soul nods. That's right. The Pilgrim Seed is mine to care for. The Pilgrim Seed. Okay. No, I think I like that. He leads you up to a rally platform at the center of the room and stops. She chose me, so to speak. Well, at least her crew did, and I do my best to serve them. Soul looks around the bridge of the ship, a pained expression on his face. I'll admit that the responsibility isn't one that suits me, though we rarely get to choose such things. He glances back at you. But you, Sleeper, from what I understand, you choose to try to help us here. Is that right? I did my best to. Soul nods silently. But now I have to ask you, Sleeper, why are you here now? Soul leans back and you feel his eyes on you, assessing you. Why am I here now? Well, you're DLC, and I'm kind of in the end game, so it just kind of felt like the right time. Which of these options captures that feeling? I still want to help. Mazzaloo, that's a really good joke. The Pilgrim Seed? Well, then why did it run into the rock? I think that's good. Soul nods. I'm gotta be honest with you, Sleeper. I'm not quite buying it. He smiles. Well, fuck me then. I'm not trying to make judgments on your character, but in my experience, people do things for more reasons than just being helpful. Well, it's like a game, so I'm like playing a game, and I want to be helpful in the game. I'm playing a character, and that character is a helpful person. I have tens of thousands of people here on the Pilgrim Seed, Sleeper, and there's tens of thousands more in the flotilla. He leans against a railing. A lot of them are looking to me to provide some future for them, some path out of this dead end we've gotten to. And this cycle, this very cycle, the thing we've been running away from, it just caught up with us. So these people are scared, Sleeper, and they're looking to me for reassurances. And then, on the same cycle, someone tells me they see you on board. A Sleeper, the same Sleeper, they reckon, that wanted so strongly to send a ship past the cordon to see us. Soul scratches at his beard. With which hand? So the first thing I wanted to do was thank you for that. For your interest. He pauses. But the second thing I wanted to do was find out what you want from us. Soul's suit hisses and creaks. I think that's fair, don't you? Soul takes a deep breath. So what is it? Well, there's this person named Peak, and they're pretty hot. So it just seemed like it would be a good thing to help them. Which of these options captures that energy? Ooh. Tell me about the Flux. Someone at a terminal calls out to Sol and he shouts some orders back. He turns to you. Apologies. He smiles that half smile. I tell you what, Sleeper, let's you and me make a deal. You want information, I understand that, but I have a list of needs longer than the rim of the eye itself, he grimaces. So you do some things for me, and then we can talk about what's been happening in the system, and I will answer all your questions and then some. I may be the captain of the Pilgrim Seed, and she is certainly the biggest ship in this flotilla, but I'm not the only captain here. We have ships here from each moons. Ember's Hearth, just like us, but plenty more from Ember's Song and even Ember's Step. The moons have been at each other's throats, Sleeper. What with the pressure of the Flux, the bad blood from the old days, Soul leans in. We aren't exactly all in alignment. What I need is a way to stop things escalating, for the crews on these ships and their captains to feel happy and comfortable enough to forget old rivalries and past crimes. He flinches at something. Those from Ember Steps, well, they've always been proud, but that pride seems to be a barrier to compromise right now. The last set of supplies I sent their way, they refused. Meanwhile, I have a supply shuttle at the docking axis the Ember Song's ships gather at, but they've taken far too many cycles to unload. Maybe if you're headed that way, you can look in on them. I'm no politician, Sleeper, but if I don't... Soul stops. He leans back and flexes, his suit screeching. He groans a little, and you see the weight of the flotilla sitting on his shoulders, the suit the only thing keeping him vertical beneath all that pressure. Look, you'll see for yourself if you go. Mind the others, Sleeper. See what they need. Keep them aligned. He speaks through the pain, his voice clipped. Are you okay? Not really, but as long as this thing holds, he grimaces. I hope. Soul grits his teeth. You are what you appear to be, Sleeper. He smiles, his half smile despite the pain, because I'm not sure I could handle any more bad news. Woof. Night, Maximum Cowboy. Plus, there's plenty to be done here on this Pilgrim Seed, too, if you have a moment to pitch in. There's never enough around here, and something I've learned the hard way. Soul settles onto his cane, the pain visibly receding. All right, I have 1,000 things to attend to now, Sleeper, so you'll have to find your own way out. And with that, Soul sits at his terminal with slow and careful movements. You head back down the freight elevator, and as you do, you see again the layers and layers of chaotic life this vessel, and all the vessels of the flotilla, hold. Oh yeah, I guess it's about time to end the stream. I was going after the length of the stream has been open, but I forgot that the first 20 minutes of the stream were an absolute fucking wash because of audio issues. Let me peek at what we got here. Yeah. We're not gonna be around much longer. Because I'm gonna finish watching this episode of White Lotus. Alright. Hearth Survival. Pilgrim Seed Support. Pilgrim Seed Supply. Hey, I can give you some Mitsutake. You want some Mitsutake? I got some Mitsutake. You want some Mitsutake? I got you. I can hook you up there. Yeah, for sure. What we got? 5? Okay. So we got that. I assume there will be other flotilla. Yeah. So here's the Ember Song. Unwelcome aid. The more you offload supplies into the docking bay, the more attention your efforts seem to be gaining. Okay, well, let's pace ourselves. It's a strange sight, given your time spent in the Greenway, to see a greenhouse choked in red dust. It piles up along edges, gathers in curving waves, and is carried by some unseen wind to whirl in front of the glass ceiling. It is a desert in miniature, a captured landscape of iron-rich sediment and unseen life. Beautiful, isn't it? A remark comes from another figure standing to the viewing window, so quietly you hadn't noticed them. Did they just arrive, or were they here before you were? Their cloth-swaddled form reveals little. It is. They say nothing. You catch a glimpse of a pale face among the thick material, dark eyes glittering in the red reflected light. They turn to you as the dust swirls. Aki, they smile a tight smile. You're not from the flotilla, am I right? I'm not from anywhere. Everyone is from somewhere, whether they wish to be or not. The red dust glitters in her eyes. Whether it's a good place to be from or not. Another fucking killer design. Look at this. The layers, the colors, the blue and yellow stacked. Fuck, that's good. Fuck, that's good. Aki gathers her cloak around her shoulders against the cold. What brings you to the wind's long shadow? Soul sent me. Aki doesn't respond. She looks absent-mindedly at the dust. You're a strange one. Aki raises an eyebrow. I don't know whether I can report you. I don't know whether to report you or send you back where you came from. She smiles to herself, which is nowhere at all. You glance around the empty corridor, suddenly aware of how quiet it is on the ship. Unlike the other ships you've been on the flotilla, there's a silent order to the wind's long shadow, and in this moment, it feels unsettling. Where is everyone? She looks like a pumpkin witch! Everybody is welcome in my polycool. Every single character, they're all in. Aki waves a hand. Asleep, mostly. It's night on Step, and it's night here. She rubs her shoulders. At least for those of us who can sleep. Aki lets the silence sit, and you hear the wind and dust scratching at the viewing window. You hear a creak as a set of shutters slowly begin to close across the glass ceiling of the greenhouse. As you watch, you feel the dissonance that place has with the word. There's nothing green here. A dust house, perhaps. It takes many systems to preserve this landscape, Aki begins. To simulate the wind, cycle the dust, layer the sands and dirt beneath. You watch the dust swirling. Systems that are failing. Oh, so you want somebody to help you keep the systems up to blah, 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 blah. I've heard it all before. The flux event. Aki glances at you for a sign of recognition at the term. Is eroding our ability to keep this place alive. To keep these traces of Step alive. She smiles to herself. Which is ironic because when we left Step, the flux had eroded our ability to survive on the moon. Now the situation is reversed. Away from the moon, its ecosystems are as fragile as we were living upon it. Something catches your eye as the shutters darken the dust house. The winds picking away at the dunes begin to reveal something. A web, a network of thick branching forms, and then they close completely, and you see nothing in the dark. Soft blue lights flicker on the corridor, uplighting Aki in the cold cyan. You've piqued my curiosity, but I'm so tired, Aki shivers. If you do not have a purpose here on the ship, I recommend finding one. Otherwise, I'm afraid you'll need to leave. Make yourself useful, and perhaps we'll get another chance to talk. She turns. I would like that. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. With that, Aki pads away down the corridor. You stand for a moment in front of the dark dust house, trying to imagine the network of roots under the sand and dust, and then trying to imagine the moon that once housed them. Oh, I'll find a fucking purpose. You don't think I can find a purpose? I'll find a purpose. Make myself useful easy. Easy. Oop. Alright, I got one dice left. Let's pump it. Let's work it. Yes! I'm useful. I'm a little robot. I got little robot fingers, and they can get into little robot crevices. How's my seed doing? Slowly ticking up. I want to find a fucking purpose. I will find a fucking purpose. Nobody can stop me. And nobody's trying. Feel like I'm going to need some scrap. So I'm going to hold on to this for at least one cycle. Alright. And that's going to be the end of the stream. Assuming nothing horrible happens as soon as the screen comes back from where it just was. Okay, it all looks fine. It all looks okay. Alright, and that's the stream. I was so nervous that something else was going to pop up, but it really is time to end. Happy Thursday, everybody. Thanks for sticking through the weird, fucking imparsible audio issues, which I still don't know what the cause of, and I don't know how I solved it, but I did, and we did, and it was fine. We'll be back Sunday. Sunday might be the last of the streams of this game. Sunday or Tuesday, maybe. Oh, who are we raiding? That's a good question. I'm weirdly echoey right now sometimes. What? Nectal? I don't know if I believe you. I don't know. Can I trust you, Nectal? Night Mads. Not a double, just a small chorus effect? What? What could fucking be fucking causing it? What could be fucking causing it? I'm so furious. Okay. Who are we gonna raid? Let's raid Sarah. She's playing Yakuza. Alright, I'll see y'all over there. Bye, everybody. Bye. I'm waiting for the raid now button to become clickable. Bye.